Hi, welcome to this video on checklist under Unit 1. In the following slides, we'll see what is checklist, why do we need to know about it, and how to write it. Let's see what is checklist and how important it is. Checklists are generally a list of important tasks to be accomplished. We usually make checklists before you go for a shopping, and it usually in the form of question or actions to be accomplished, and it acts like a basic check before performing any important tasks. And it also helps to organize the assigned works error free. So it acts like a checking point as well as it helps for error free task completion. This slide will show you why do we need checklists. Checklists generally used for getting better performance in workplace, and it acts like a reminder, and also it helps to achieve reliable results, and for many times it prevents chaos in systems. So ultimately it avoids improper system. And good checklist, it promotes teamwork and discipline among the workers, and ultimately it acts like a lifesaver. Have a look at the safety inspection checklist. It usually followed in the workplace where they will check regularly about the cleanliness in the surface and cleanliness in the bathroom, as well as the wires, cords, electric switches, and all this happen in a regular pace, and they have to submit the report. Let me read one or two, three sentences inside it. Is there litter or spilled liquid on the floor? The person has to mention whether it's yes or no. If it is no, they have to write the corrective action here. And let's look at the seventh one. Do cords look frayed or cords draped over hot pipes or appliances, or electrical outlet boxes or bonnets exposed so that they present a hazard? So if no, they'll have a check out it, and if it is yes, they will just pass it on. If it is no, they'll mention the corrective action. This is how you'll have to frame your checklist. Let's see how to write checklist. Checklists are generally used to write using yes or no type of questions, that is close-ended questions. And to write yes or no questions, we need auxiliary verbs to initiate it. Let's see what are all the auxiliary verbs. Do, does, did, am, is, are, have, has, had. Let's see how to frame with using it. Do I have enough money? Does the room occupy required amount of furniture? Did I install antivirus software to my computer? Am I aware about the new models? Is the product updated? Are there enough models available? Have I inquired about the product before? Has the product been advertised proper? Had I taken a discount option? Let's see the following slide before we go ahead with the sample question. Before we proceed to see how to write checklist, let me introduce a technique called mind mapping. This technique helps to identify and list out relevant keywords before we write the checklist. Let's consider the following question as a sample for mind mapping. I've taken the question which is relevant to the current situation. Write a list of checklists to prevent yourself from COVID 19. So, if you consider this question, let me show you the mind map. I put the main key idea, that is prevention from COVID 19, in the middle, and the relevant key ideas around it. So, let me go clockwise. The first important thing is mask that we need to wear, and hand wash that we have to use it often, gloves, and the another important thing, social distancing. And very important stuff is awareness. When we do shopping, we must be very careful, and to support government and other people, we should follow the rules, and prior to all, personal health habits. So this is how we should make a tree uh, form of the concepts, or this web like criteria. We can have a many dimensional type of mind mapping, but the main concept of mind mapping is to have a clear idea about the clear keywords about what we gonna write in the checklist. Let's see the example in the next. I've applied few colors to support my explanation in the next slide of example sheet. In that, I've used yellow to highlight auxiliary verb and green to highlight pronoun and noun. Blue color is for main verb, and I have underlined the keywords that we have used for mind mapping techniques. Let's see the next slide with an example. In this slide, let's see how to format a complete checklist. The checklist should have a title on the top and right side yes or no boxes which is relevantly ticked, and all the answers should be numbered. So it should not be bulletin. You should not use bulletin. It should be numbered. Many of the time students they tend to use bullets. Try to avoid it. And considering the title should have the name as checklist in the beginning. It should start with the word checklist and the keywords. Checklist to prevent the spread of COVID-19. Yeah, let's have the first number. As I mentioned already about the colors, do that is yellow color is auxiliary, green is a pronoun and nouns, and blue color is the stem verb that's used, and underlined is keywords. Do I wear mask before I step outside my house? And question mark. You must use question mark since it's a yes or no type of question structure. And second one, am I washing my hands often? Have I bought hand gloves? Is the awareness created among my family members? Has the shopping been done carefully? Are all my family members and friends following lockdown rules strictly? Do I maintain social distancing correctly? Do they take healthy food to maintain high immune system? So if you notice that I've structured the sentences in such a way that you can use adverbs along with the stem verb. Make sure that all the sentences are questioned at the end. You should not write a sentence without any questions. Let's have a look at the next example. Let's see another example. Look at the question. Checklist for preparing proper safety to install a machine. So before we proceed to install a machine, what are all the parameters we should check it? That's the answer here. Are the machines properly guarded? So auxiliary verb are is used. If you look at it in all the answers, there is no pronoun is used. Here either are or is used. If we have this auxiliary verb such are and is, we cannot use pronouns such as I. Mainly we know in checklist we use mainly I, the personal check. So it is I used to be the pronoun that we use. So if you use are or is, we cannot use I as a follow-up pronoun. Only I will be followed by am. So look at the answers here. Second one, are electric cords not frayed, damaged, and equipped with correct type of plugs? I've underlined as I underlined previously the keywords here. So look at the third one. Is lighting adequate? So the lighting should be adequate to install a machine. So that's why it's checked. Yes, it is done. I ticked it. Is there adequate outlets and are the outlets properly grounded? So outlets should be there. So they should ground it proper. Are the exits and blocked doors marked? So that should be a sign to mention this is exits and this is blocked doors. So that should be marked here. Or the storage areas free from excess materials. So except to the installation machine installation tools, we should not load the storage area. That's why it's mentioned here. And seventh one, is the area free from other hazards? Other hazards in the sense it should not have any inflammable material inside. So the final one is good housekeeping practice. This is very important because maintenance is very crucial here to maintain a machine after it is installed. So it's good housekeeping practice. That is the last one. So this is how you should frame. Make sure that all the end is it is mentioned question mark. So question mark and numberings is there. Yes or no boxes with relevantly ticked and title beginning with checklist and the keywords. So make sure that the format is intact even when you write it. Let's go for another example. It is good to practice with more examples. This is the third example. Let's have a look at it. Write down a checklist containing at least 8 items to maintain safety in public functions. So we're going to take a title from here. So checklist to maintain safety in public functions. We can excerpt title from the question. So it is easy to take it out. So title is taken for the format. Yes or no boxes are fixed in. By taking it relevantly, I made it impact and numbered. Questions are numbered and question ended with all question marks. So I just made a check that all the format is set right. And let me get into the sentence structure. Look at the sentence structure. Have I fixed? So I'm using here the present perfect tense. Have I fixed? So I use pronoun fixed third form of the verb since it is present tense, and the keywords. Have I fixed fire extinguishers ready? Have I instructed everyone not to burn crackers inside the hall? Have I checked whether the stage construction is strong? Have I inspected whether any highly inflammable items are inside? Have I checked the generator room? Or the signboards arranged to mention no smoking indication? Have I arranged some volunteers to take care of other safety parameters? Have I informed the team to check cleanliness in food court? So this is how we should frame it. In the previous examples we checked or the sentence started with or is. Now it is have I with the pronoun. So let's see another next slide. This slide consists of a list of questions for you to practice yourself. The first question is prepare an 8-item checklist for a good laboratory report. So you must bring back to your memory what and all you do it in the lab and write a checklist of it. The second question is you have to imagine that you're the sports secretary of your college and you must do important activities to conduct sports day celebrations. So here you have to imagine yourself as a sports secretary and make sure that you think in the place of a sports secretary. And the third question, you must imagine now as a student's president and you must conduct an exhibition and you must prepare a checklist for it. And the fourth one, imagine that you're the safety engineer. Now you are the safety engineer of a shopping mall and you have to make a check that you maintain its safety. And finally, you must imagine you are the interviewee for an online interview conducted by an HR of a reputed company. And you must prepare a checklist for yourself as a self checklist to attend the virtual meeting. Make sure that you mentally prepare by doing mind mapping technique before you proceed answering each question. With this, we have come to the end of this video and don't forget to do the quiz that follows. Thank you.